Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining me. I'm Lynn with plasmaenergysolution.com, and today is May 7th, 2026. I want to encourage you to go to our homepage and take a look at our May specials. We have 5 different groups to choose from of a buy one, get one free vial. And then we have another special, and that one goes on all the time. That special is if you want 30% off on a vial or a group of vials that you order, you can get that if you send a check or a money order. If you want 15% off on any of the packages, you can also get that if you use a check or a money order. So those are just ongoing specials. One is our May special, and then one is the ongoing special. I have opened up the foreign orders again, and you're going to have to email me because the shipping doesn't compute correctly. And I can't compute it correctly because I won't know what it is until your order is put together and I weigh the order, etc. I have found recently that UPS is an effective way to get your package tracked and to get faster delivery. It is more expensive. And so that shipping charge would be included as part of your order. So if that should interest you, send me an email and I'll give you some instructions on how to get the order put together. Since it's we've got a couple of steps that just aren't automatic like our other orders. All right. So I encourage you to go in and look at our many blogs of information that we have. And every now and then I just try to put out some useful information for you in other fields. And it's time for gardening for a lot of people around the country. And I want to suggest to you that you look at our Healthy Garden or Garden Essentials. It has 2 names depending on the blog or whatever. And that you look at that as part of your overall gardening plan. As you may know, or maybe you don't know, fertilizers are becoming an issue because of the issues in the Middle East. And the ingredients necessary for fertilizers are not being shipped out of the Middle East right now. So here's the thing. When you get our plant, indoor-outdoor plant, or our Healthy Garden, and Healthy Garden is a combination of 3 things. It's super soil, natural pest away, and sea essentials. And when you get that, you buy it one time, you set your Mother Source jar up, and the way I use it is I will use the water that's available, for outdoor watering, but if I put it in a bucket, I can add several cups of my plasma energy plant water to that bucket of water for the watering. Now that's for container plants or whatever. You may have to come up with a different way of doing things if you're relying on delivery through a garden hose to a larger area. And when you order that from us, I will generally always send the plot of putting energy in the 4 corners of your garden, and then maybe one more energy on a post in the center of the garden, and that's setting up plasma energy fields all around, above and below your garden to enhance the overall well-being of your garden. So that's something to take a look at. Now, the other thing I'm going to suggest, and Again, if you're not paying attention to what's going on in the Middle East, I'll bet you're paying attention to what's going on at the grocery store. I got 2 little bitty boxes of blueberries. I mean, little bitty, 2 for $5. I guess they were ashamed to put 1 for $5 in a wimpy box, so they got 2 wimpier boxes and made it 2 for $5. Whatever. So, we're gonna see more of this. This isn't going away. I would encourage you to get out and look at information and not rely on what you're getting through the television. I don't get I can't get news through the television. I don't have a television. So I choose to get my information in different ways. But here's the thing. Let's say that we get into a situation where there's food shortages. Now we have another package of energies with plasma energy, and we've got veggies, protein, and fruits. And it's the energies of all of those, and then one more if you want to add to it, hunger helper. And these are all foods, the veggies, protein, and the fruits are all non-GMO, no pesticide, no herbicide. And so you set those up on your individual jars, and then you can put them in like if you want a lot of things on your plasma energy station, you can put all these things on there, and you just put your intention there. What do you want that water to do for you? I can tell you that you are going to have your appetite will be less than the 3 meals a day type of appetite. There are many days that I make a fortified tea that has all kinds of stuff in it, and I have a couple little tidbits with it, and that's my somewhere in the first 2 or 3 hours of when I get up. And I also do a little dish of different seeds. It might be hemp seed, chia seed, all kinds of different seeds. And I wrote a blog on that. And sometimes it's sunflower seeds for different reasons that I'm combining these. So that's what I eat before I ever have a meal. And so I had that today earlier, and I was running errands all afternoon and doing this and doing that. So finally, about 5:30, I had what would be called the first meal of my day, and um, I had a sandwich. But by that time, I was ready to have a meal. Well, now it's what time is it? Well, it's probably after 10 o'clock. I'm not sure I'm going to have another meal today. I can just drink the water. And if you go back into the free report information from Dr. Batmanjalid, the Iranian medical doctor who wrote many books on water, and one is You're Not Sick, Your Body Is Not Sick, You're Thirsty. Another was The Body's Many Cries for Water. And in that, he said, people think they're getting everything they need from the food they eat, but they're really getting it from the water they drink. So keep that in mind when you're looking at rising prices at the store. You can get these energies from Plasma Energy Solution one time. Set it up, and you're not going to come every month and replace it or every year and replace it. The energy is there. And it's something you can share with other people. Once you have your Mother Source jar set up, you can, after it sits overnight, you can put together vials or pairs of pads, however you want to do it for other people. And speaking of vials, I'm going to tell you that the price on the glass vials I use in warm weather has doubled. And yeah, it's more than doubled from where it was a couple years ago. And I'm seeing fewer fewer things in an order. In other words, maybe something used to come as 24 pieces, now it's coming as 12 pieces. But that 12 pieces might be priced pretty close to what the 24 pieces used to be. And that is particularly when I'm ordering the BPA-free plastic vials for the winter, the way I ship the vials in the winter. Now, if plastics, all our plastics come from oil. If that's coming in short supply, things we take for granted like baggies and trash bags and like the plastic bags I use when I'm doing the pairs of pads that I send outside of the country, all of these things may start disappearing from the shelves. And I was explaining to somebody how to segue into what if that happens. Now, okay, what if you can't get paper towels to make the pairs of patches? Use printer paper, you know? And what if you can't get paper? Use cloth. The plasma energy does not care what it travels on. And generally, I like to wrap things in plastic just to keep them from getting dirty or like getting water on them and things like that. And that brings to mind, I use a lot of packing tape. Well, I use bubble wrap. These are all things that could come into short supply. So I want you to be thinking ahead of what are replacements and what's your workaround when you can't get what you just always were able to get. Now, maybe that sounds like Chicken Little, if a sky is falling in or whatever. But I'm just seeing the changes with things I routinely order for sending out plasma energy orders. So I encourage you to pay attention to things like that. Pay attention to your pantry. Have you got enough in the pantry and in the refrigerator for several months for the family? Do you have plenty in your plasma energy pantry to address different things? I encourage you to go back into one of the blogs that was probably 3 or 4 months ago, and there's also a video available, and it's of a woman who's a caregiver, and she took the copper oxide plasma energy and set it up and then put it in a spray bottle and sprayed it on the legs of a woman who'd been treated for 6 months for sores on her leg due to maybe bad circulation, whatever. Those legs had not healed for 6 months. After they were sprayed for a month, and she kept a record and did photographs along the way to show the improvement. They were vastly healed up and improved at the end of a month. The same woman had a group of plasma energies that she had ordered to make drinking water for this individual, and she was very consistent about having her drink the water and then about keeping track. And she was keeping track of her blood pressure. Her blood pressure dropped into normal ranges after a month. I want you to think about that. You know, a lot of the way we've been programmed in this country is to run to someone and get a pill or a shot or something like that to take care of it. What if some of those things become not so available? You've got to have some alternatives. We have a lot of tools for you, so I encourage you to go through. A good way to do this is to go through the shopping page and buy products page and just look at everything that we have. And as you're looking at it, see what resonates with you. See what, oh gosh, I didn't know they had that. Um, just take a look and see what you might want to have on hand. Now, what happens if finances are getting tight? Find somebody to go in with you on the order and set it all up, and then you both have your source. And Dr. Paul and I laughed about this on several videos. Who thought up this business program? People buy something from you one time, and then they can share it with their friends and family. Well, we did that because we were looking ahead saying, what would happen if things went south in this country? And for many, many years, we've been, as a general society, we've been spoiled by the availability of whatever it was we were looking for, and for many people, the ability to purchase it. So take a look at all this information that I'm giving you. Now, I do want to make one point here. I mentioned 2 different specials. You only get to use one coupon. So you decide which special works the best for you, but you can't double dip on the coupons. So anyway, go ahead and take a look and see what works for you. All right, and we have lots of videos for you, especially with the products page. There are a lot of videos that go along with the products. So again, it's plasmaenergysolution.com. I hope you have a great weekend, and thanks for watching, and share this with others if you'd like to. plasmaenergysolution.com. Thanks.